my friends, it's Oyster Boy welcoming you back to Bincotton Bridge, Episode 3, our gaming experience of Banished. And I was just looking at this river and thinking about something that I said at the conclusion of the last episode about traders. How when you have a trader, you'll get traveling merchants who'll come down the river here to your town and provide your town with goods. It's a way to get types of seeds that you don't have. It's a way to get tools when your tool levels are low, or a way to get steel tools when you don't have coal to make steel tools. It can be quite a lifesaver, and you can build specialty goods that you assign completely for trading, such that your citizens won't consume them, and build up a stockpile of things that traders like to trade for. So I'm starting to think that it would be a good idea to make a trader. Trader, which you will find under Storage, Markets, and Trade, Trading Post is what it's called. However, is a very big thing. You have to build it on the water. And I was sort of looking around, it looks to me like it would fit right here. Right next to the fishing area. Fishing shack. It'd be perfect. People could carry goods right down this road here to the trader. The trader will take care of when you make a trading post. You assign someone to be the trader. It can have up to 4 in one trading post, and they'll acquire goods from in the town and stock them up in the trading post. The trading post has its own warehouse built in. One sort of trick that I have figured out with this game also is that the trading post's warehouse is huge, and it can be a place to store excess goods, even if you have no intention of trading them. Like, say you have an exceptionally good year or whatever, you have too many farmers, and you end up with, 15,000 units of corn, enough to feed your citizens for like 10 years or something crazy. You can stick all of that in your trading post, and it'll just sit there. It doesn't take up the storage area that the rest of your town uses. Then later, if you really need food, you can go back to the trading post and you can say, hey, you're not allowed to hold 10,000 units of corn. You're only allowed to hold, 5,000. And the traders will dutifully unload the corn from the warehouse and return it to the town. So it's another way it's sort of a sneaky way to store goods. And having a trading post has helped me in the past. However, it's a big building job. As you can see, it requires 80 stone, it requires 40 iron, which is almost all of our iron, and more than the amount of stone we have, and 82 logs. We don't really have the resources to commit to a job that large, so that's what I would like to work towards. And I think our first order of business then should be, since the food situation seems to be okay, I think our first order of business should be to get the forester fully enabled over here. We've only got 2 out of 4 possible foresters working. I think we should get that up to 4. I think we should increase the log limit. I don't think we should stop at 200. The foresters are planting these little trees, but we also need to clear out these resources. So I think for this episode, what we want to do is a little bit of maintenance work. We want to clear out all the stone and iron from within the forester's field of area of control. We want to get the roads of our grid laid out. There's a few more areas that we've sort of cleared. We might as well lay the roads out. And then hopefully by the end of the episode we'll have enough citizens where we have enough laborers so that we can have all 4 foresters and still have at least 1 citizen to be a trader. I think that would be an ideal situation. We'll see. I think that's going to be our objective. That's what we're going to work towards. Other things that this town is going to need a hospital. Illnesses do happen. It also needs an herbalist. We don't have an herbalist right now, which is basically the poor man's hospital. We can put the herbalist right out here with the foresters. The herbalist, just like the gatherer gathers herbs from the forest. So wherever the forester is working and planting trees and building up the resources in the area, that's a good place for an herbalist. So I would like to set our goal to work towards a trader. Alright, so let's kick things off here. There we go. And I think the first order of business right now is to start clearing out the stone and the iron from the forest area. That's stone. That's iron. That's iron. That's stone. We're going to have a ton of stone. But you can never have too much. Well, I guess you can, but that is not something I'm really worried about. That's iron. Alright, we'll just one big sweep at this area too. Yeah, there's a little bit back there. It was hiding in the woods. And stone. A few little bit. Oh, no, not on that side of the river. A few little bits of stone in there. And then we have a big patch of it here. So, what the heck? Let's just go all out. Perfect. Alright, that's a really big gathering job. There go our citizens running off into the woods. Those are everybody who is able to gather, of course, will go and gather. Our woodcutter can gather stone right now. Our blacksmith can gather stone. Our, well, up until a couple seconds ago, our tailor could too. Currently, there are no students in our schoolhouse. The reason for that is these children are not old enough to be students yet. When a child becomes old enough to become a student, you'll see something here. You'll get an event log that says so and so has become a student. All right. So stone and iron will be brought to stockpiles. So they're going to fill up these two stockpiles with stone and iron. We may eventually want to remove these stockpiles too because they basically disrupt our grid. All right. Gathering should go even faster now because looks like all the crops have been brought in. Yes. There is another kind of farming in this game, orchard farming. It's a lot slower because it takes a while for the trees to mature. They're not going to produce fruit for a while. But fruit can be used to make ale. And ale is a good thing. Well, first of all, ale keeps your citizens happy. It helps increase their happiness. You need a tavern to make it, but the other thing you can do with ale is you can, if you have a trader, you can set ale up as a trade good, basically by going to the trading post and setting the inventory levels in the trading post to say, we want to keep at least 1,000 units of ale in the trading post, which means that pretty much any ale that gets created is going to go straight there until there's 1,000 units, which means it'll be a long time. So, and ale trades for pretty good prices. There we go. And the one other line of our grid was here. And so one thing to remember about this grid is that this is where the marketplace is going to be. So it's actually the marketplace that's the center of the grid. So usually the way I do it is you have the marketplace, and then in the immediate squares around the marketplace you have houses and services. And then outside of that, you'll have your crops, your orchards, things like that, your graveyard, that sort of thing. So, as long as we are clearing out the town here, there are just some loose, stray bits of wild food. We might as well gather it up. Let's, whoops, what am I doing here? Screwing up, that's what I'm doing. I'll just go here, we'll say remove resources, and we will go to there, get those, and into there and get those. I'd like to keep this little tree for as long as we can. It might look nice to have a tree growing there. We'll see. We can fit one more house here. That tree may end up going. Okay. Now, we want to keep our log levels looking good too. We're going to clear this area. Ultimately, we're going to be putting a trading post in up here. So, we might as well snarf these trees as well. So let's just, following the edges of our grid from there to there, just take out everything. That'll look a little barren, but once we start putting, we could put, for example, like I was saying, some orchards up here. Orchards are very pretty. They don't produce a lot of food, but they are very pretty. So, alright. So our citizens are very busy. They all have work to do. The builders have roads to build. Everybody has stuff to gather. So we're going to have them keep doing that. Gathering lots of stone and iron can actually deplete tools. That is something to keep in mind. You have to use tools to break boulders. Oh, there go the builders. They're making the road. Sort of working in tandem. Okay. Alright, we haven't gained any new laborers. However, good news. 4 of our children became students. This is really good news. Educated citizens will produce much more quickly. Alright, food levels still look great. 6,800. We have 32 people. That's enough food for 2 years for everybody. And we just got stone and iron piling up all over the place. This storage barn is 99% full. This one is 47% full, so we're not in danger of running out of storage space right now. Look at all the stone we have. That's great. Picking up a ton of stone and iron. Alright, we don't have laborers to assign to any new buildings. Food levels are still very, very good, so let's create a new house. We'll just put it... I should have thought better about these squares. Let me think about this for a second. So this is 16 on it. Oh, it's 14 on a side, right? 1, 2, 3. Right. So the most you can fit is 3 houses with a space of 1 between them, right? So you put a house there and have 1 space, and then a house there and have 1 space, and then a house there. That's really the way you should lay them out. All right. And on this side, is it also 16? Yeah, I think it was. So that means inside the square, whoops, sorry. Inside the square it's 14, so you have room for 1 house and a space. And then 1 house and a space. And then 1 house. That's really how it should be laid out. Which would mean that... Right, so that would mean that this house should really have been here. And then the next house would be in the corner. So we have an extra gap there. What are you going to do about it, right? We'll leave that gap there and we'll fix it up on the next row of houses. So on the next row of houses, you have one, well, you have this one facing this road. And then this one would be over by 1. It would face like that way. And then the next one would be there. So there would be a way for people to walk between the houses to get in here. Let's make 2 houses. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, God, I'm a moron. Let's remove that house. And we want 1 space, right? Right, like that. And so the next house, if we built it, would be there. Just like that. We got a space between each of them. Okay. but we're not going to build that. So let's take that one away. Just build 2 houses. Something for the builders to do while we wait for our population demographics to improve. Alright, we're starting to take down these trees, which says to me that we're getting close to the end of the gathering work. Alright, we're up to over 200 stone, over 200 iron, which is very good. Nothing's happening here. All the logs, all the stone is here. Okay, coming up on the iron. These guys are bringing iron to these locations. I guess the builders don't actually tackle this until a citizen has brought all the materials, and then the builders jump on it. Storage for logs, stone, and iron is near capacity. Yes, that's true. Well, just like we did with the forester, we could build the trader and simply not staff it, have no one working there. And that's a little nerve-wracking. A 35-year-old person getting a house. You would hope that they would have gotten a house earlier in life. We may have been a little stingy with houses. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to make one more house. There we go. We have the stone for it, so let's just do it. And taking stone out of the supplies for the out of the stockpile for the house will help alleviate the storage issue. Yep. Look at all that iron. Yum! All that yummy iron and stone. Yeah, they're still clearing all this. Alright, we said that this was going to be the marketplace, right? So let us... I guess we should maybe create a new stockpile. Do we have enough room here? 4 by 3, that's awfully small. Oh, it looks like we can go pretty far with it. 4 by 10. Alright, we'll do that. That will help alleviate the problem. May take a while, however. I think they're going to finish the gathering jobs before they come over here and remove this tree and this food and then set up the stockpile. That's fine. We'll just deal with it. Deal with the annoying message. That's a piece of food growing there. One piece of food growing in the center of town. We'll pick that. Might as well pick it. I like the look of that birch tree there. That looks nice. Notice people are hanging out at the well. That's another reason why we're probably going to need to make a hospital soon. If we get a sick person and they come and hang out at the well, they'll make the whole town sick. Alrighty. These people are even older. 39 and 30. Ah, Oleta born. Let's have a look in these other houses. Yeah, see, this is the situation you really hopefully would not get into. Like Dale and Kayla are living with their parents, and Dale is 43 and Kayla is 36. We could make a house for Dale and Kayla, but they're almost getting too old to have children. And we might have a similar situation here. This looks okay. That looks okay. Those people, that's really the right age for people to be getting houses. Yeah. It looks like we have several couples of marriable age So I think when we get the trader online, we get the foresters online, then it will be time to tackle that. Now we have picked up 2 more laborers, 3 more laborers. Yummy. Let's throw 2 of them in as foresters. There we go. Now the area is clear. Look at it, already looks better. With that area clear, the foresters are going nuts. They're planting a lot more trees. The little trees, I think, grow better when they're not all smothered with rocks and iron. So this area should start producing more output. Yeah. Alright, so I think it is time to create the trader. And we have this nice big clear area. Our town is I know it looks barren, but the town is going to grow into that area. So it's going to be okay. Let's get a trader set up. We even have a laborer who can, at least one laborer who can take that job. Other things we're going to need to set up soon are a town hall, the marketplace, a chapel. That's probably not necessary yet, but eventually. And a cemetery, that's going to be necessary soon. We already have some people in their 50s. And the town will get very unhappy if people die and they have no place to bury them. And I'm looking at the health of the citizens. You can see it's dropping. I really think we should get a hospital in place, or at least an herbalist. Yeah, I think we need to do a trader and an herbalist. An herbalist will help. So let's get that trader laid out there. Here's the trading post. We'll spin it around, find a place that it fits. It's got to stick out in the water because the traveling merchant comes by river. There we go. That's laid out. And it sticks in a little bit more than the fishing post, so we may have to go a little wonky with the road. Yeah, we got to go a little wonky with the road. Oh, whatever. Wonky roads, we can take it. Alright. So now we have our trader. And there's a little hill here. We might not be able to run a road over it. No, we can run a road around it. We could try to run a tunnel through it. No, it's too small for a tunnel. Alright, I'm not going to worry about it. Ah, good. There's already some logs in the stockpile. Alright, so we got the trader. They want 6 builders to make that trader. We have 3 laborers available. I guess we can throw 3 of them into building. No, we'll throw 2 of them into building. Alright, things are looking better. Stockpiles, extra crap that was hanging around here seems to have been put into stockpiles. New house coming online. Okay. Alright, well, we'll see if they produce children. These people might be a little old. Alright. Alright, so this stockpile is online now. That should relieve the pressure on the other stockpile. Alright, all these stray bits of food here should be removed. We might as well gather it up. Look at our food. Even with that, even with that field, not that, that crop field that we turned off, even with that not operating, we're still 8,200 food. So, it's not even really necessary to grab this food, but let's get it anyway. Alright, everybody's bringing resources here for the trader. Now, the trader takes a lot of stone. A lot of logs. So, yeah, see, our stone is dropping back down again. So we did gather a huge amount of stone, but then we also consumed a huge amount of stone. We built 3 houses. 3 houses and a trader. So believe it or not, we may need to assign some people to go out and gather some stone when this is all over. But, let's see, we have 4 builders right now. We're going to knock that back down to 2 once the trader is built. That will mean we'll have 4 laborers, which means we can assign 1 to be the trader and 1 to be an herbalist. So we'll build an herbalist, which means we really are going to need some more stone. So while that's happening, alright, no shortage of stone here. Alright, so there's stone all along this little river. Let's just tell our citizens, whoever's free, to come out here and get this bit of stone and these random bits of stone. This stone down here. I missed one. Yeah, I missed a couple. Oh, there's a few stones here by the water. Let's gather those. Good. Well, I think you could officially call this a hamlet. It's not a full-size village, but we're starting to get a decent number of things here. There's no tavern. We'll get there. But we have a trading station. Let's put a trader in there. 1 trader. Let's drop our builders down to 2. And now the inventory here for the trading post has come up. And now we can start talking about the things we want to store in the trading post for trading. So we have a large supply of iron. You need iron, it's valuable, but we could probably trade some of it. So let's go in here and let's set our iron to, well, we have 234. How about 50 iron? That's something. I really don't want to trade away the leather. We need that. But we really have a ton of food. We have way more food than we need. Let's go to our, let's pin this window so it stays open, and we'll go over here to the food barns and have a look. Okay, so 1,000 venison, 1,300 potatoes, 1,200 fish, some other things. Over here we have 1,400 potatoes. Okay, so potatoes is what we have the most of. 1,300 potatoes, 1,400 potatoes. That's a crap ton of potatoes, right? So that totals out to about 3,000 potatoes. It's about half of our food. So why don't we put, let's say we put 750, whoops, not that much, 750 potatoes in here. We have 182 logs. We might be able to trade logs. We don't want to take too many of them. Let's say we'll put let's say 50 logs into storage. And I saw plenty of venison. Let's do 50 venison as well. And that's it. So we've assigned 1 person as a trader, so it's 1 person's job to gather all that stuff and bring it in. This is the desired count. This is the actual count. Now, the thing to keep in mind is when you do a trade, it's the trader's job to take the items that were acquired by the trade, bring them to the storage places and stock them, but also to bring the levels of inventory in the trading post back up to where they were. So if you trade away 50 logs, remember, your trader's now going to go out to the town stockpile and take 50 more logs and put them into his inventory. If you don't have them, you'll suddenly see your stored logs go completely down to 0, and you're like, what happened? Right? So just keep in mind that when things are traded away, it's expected to be replenished. So you may find immediately after you do a trade, you may want to pause the game and go to your trader and change the desired numbers. You might say, okay, I traded away my 50 iron, but I can't trade any more right now, so set the desired number to 0. I don't want him to go get any more. Alright. So that's done. We have a trader assigned, and I think for the health of our citizens, since we really can't afford to build a hospital yet, we should build an herbalist. And I think this would be the perfect spot. So that's another resource production. Yes, the herbalist. gathers herbs, and provides simple health and healing for citizens. So, let's find a nice place to park this herbalist. That seems like a good spot. Right there. So I think we get this herbalist online. That will be a good time to draw this episode to a close. We'll have to set her production levels, to say how many herbs she should gather. I don't know why I say she. Every time I think of an herbalist, for some reason I think of a wise, shaman, female figure wandering around in the wilderness gathering the healing herbs, and caring. Maybe it's the caring and the nurturing. You just think of a nurse, and whenever you think of nurse, you almost always think of a woman, even though obviously men can make nurses as well. All right. Site is now clear, and they can start bringing in resources. So her gathering area, you see, pretty much overlaps the forester's work area, the gatherer's hut. So the forester helps her. The forester helps the herbalist by keeping the area, forested. Alright, and just to keep our logs in line, I think we're going to up the log limit on the forester a little bit. We want to keep our stockpile a little bit higher than 80 logs. Now, when a traveling merchant arrives, you'll see him come down the river and park himself at the trading hut, and you'll get a notice saying that a trader has arrived. Or a traveling merchant has arrived. Alright, so herbalist hut's coming online. Alright, that guy there is the trader. And what he is doing right now is gathering supplies to put into the warehouse at the trading station. So he's gathering whatever it is we told him to gather. It looks like he's carrying, those look like potatoes. Oh, there he goes. Now he's got a wheelbarrow. I don't know, that could be logs. I don't know what it is, but basically he's traveling straight to the warehouse. Notice he's not using the dirt road. We may want to upgrade that to a stone road. And he's getting something to eat. And now he's working again. Okay. That's good. Alright, so we have a trader. He is stockpiling in the trading station. We've already got all the logs we need. We've already got all the potatoes. We've already got all the iron. He's been very busy. So he's going to gather the venison. And then at that point, because there's no trading going on and everything is at the desired levels, he becomes a laborer again. So he'll be available to, cut trees and whatever. Alright, let's take care of the herbalist. There we go. Herb limit 100, that sounds fine. And let's bring our herbalist online. Where is she? Herbalist, there we go. Do we want to go to 2? I think we'll go to 1, and then the next laborer that comes available we'll up that to 2. Oh, someone must have just become a laborer. Yeah. Oh, right, I don't want to go down to 1 laborer. Yeah, well, we'll start with 1. And that will help the health of our citizens. Presence of healing herbs will help keep them healthy. He's running down a little bit. Alright, so notice now that the food stockpiles is going down. It was all the way up to 8,000. That's okay. Harvest is coming. This is still twice as much food as we need for a whole year, so we're okay. We just have to keep an eye on it and make sure it doesn't, plummet. Let's check these houses now. Let's see if there are kids. Yay! Dale and Emerin had a little girl named Mylene. Ewell and Tashila had a little girl named Evalentina. And This guy's name is Demon. That's one heck of a name. Demon and Sherilyn had 2 kids, a little boy named Eneth and a little girl named Oleta. That's good news. We're down to 2 students, which is even better news. It means that some of our students, former students, are now adults. They are educated adults, and they are going to increase the production levels in our town. So this is great. Eventually, people will start dying off, and they'll be replaced by educated people. And over time, our citizenry will become completely educated. All right, I think we're in a really good place to say goodbye. I was hoping that a merchant would come. We're up to 3 laborers. Should I put another herbalist on the job, or should I put another fisherman on the job? Food doesn't seem to be a problem. I'm kind of worried about their health. Let's put another herbalist on the job. Now, Naniela is probably... yeah. Not Naniela, but the newest person that I just assigned as an herbalist, Leandro, is educated. But right now, Leandro is idling. Hey, get your ass in gear there, buddy. So, that's good. That's good. The adults in our town are slowly becoming educated people, and that's going to be good news for our community. A little hamlet of Bincotton Bridge. All right. I think we're going to draw it to a close there. I think next time, I think we'll start looking at putting in a graveyard, because people are probably going to start dying of old age soon. And we might also talk about starting an orchard, just to get some trees in the town that produce fruit, and with an eye toward perhaps getting a tavern put in. We'll see about that. Our town's starting to get big enough. I would say if we can get to 40 adults in the town, right now we're at 30 adults, then we'd be in a good place to start thinking about putting that marketplace in. All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this. I apologize for being a little bit rambly. But our community is looking good, and we have a clear direction to keep improving it. And I hope you'll come back next time for more Bincotton Bridge and Banished. Take care now. Bye-bye.